Okay, welcome back students. Today we are going to start our unit number 5. In unit number 5 we are going to see the other machine element, which is nothing but a bearing, which is preferably used for rotating elements to support the rotating element. For example, we can take an example as a shaft. We can take an example where the shaft is to be fixed in a rotating element. This bearing will be used as a supporting element. So particularly in this particular unit, we are going to see about the design of a sliding contact and a rolling contact bearing. So as usually the previous references, I am going to use here R.S. Gurmi, V.B. Bandari and PhD design data book for this particular unit alone. So what is a bearing? So a bearing is a machine element which support another moving machine element, which is known as a journal. Okay, it permits a relative motion between the contact surface of the members while carrying a load. You take an example as a shaft. The shaft என்ன பண்ணும்னா ரொட்டேட்டும் பண்ணும். ரொட்டேட் பண்ணுறப்ப என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா it transfers one particular motion to the other motion. இதாங்க நடக்குது ஆக்சுவலாக. ஒரு மோட்டரில் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு ரோட்டரி மோஷனை ஒரு பம்புக்கோ இல்லை வேறு ஏதோ ஒரு இடத்துக்கு என்ன பண்ணுது, இட் இஸ் டிரான்ஸ்மிட்டிங். அப்படி டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ணும்போது இந்த ரிலேட்டிவ் மோஷனை கேரி பண்ணுறதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணுறாங்க, தேர் யூஸிங் அ பியரிங் இன் பிட்வீன் a particular motor and the shaft fitting. Okay, so here I want to concentrate only on this particular, which is available in our syllabus. Depending upon the type of a contact, the bearing can be classified into sliding contact and a rolling contact. So obviously you can see here what is the difference between the sliding contact and the rolling contact. You can see here, so there is no element which is available in between the moving element and the fixed element. You consider this is a fixed element. So this is the moving element. So there is no any element in between this particular two elements. Such a case of a type of a contact is called as a sliding contact. But if you go for a rolling contact, so we have a balls or rollers in between the moving and the fixed element. Let me tell what is the advantage over a sliding contact in a rolling contact. The advantages of a rolling contact is, if the moving element gets wear, it is very difficult to replace in case of a sliding contact bearing. But in case of a rolling contact bearing, we are having a roller. So we are having a roller and we are having a balls. If at all wearing is happening, we can just replace this particular balls or rollers alone, so that the amount is very minimum when compared to the sliding contact bearing. So with which I directly go to the problem with which we have to start with. So before I go with the problem, let me go to the data book. So if you go to your data book from page number 7.30, I repeat again. So from page number 7.30, the data for our bearings are available. You can see here, from here they are having journal bearing, before which they have SAE numbers of particular thing. Okay, from page number 7.28 itself our bearing has been started. But in case of materials, we can look into page number 7.30, and for L by D ratio and Zn by value, C value, clearance value, and the formulas. The formulas are majorly available in page number 7.34. You can see here the required formulas: McKee's equation, I need a heat generated value, I need a heat dissipated value. All these formulas are required for our problem for which we solve. Okay, so this we are going to discuss in our classes also. Now let us go directly to the problem. Okay, so here they are asking me to design a journal bearing. So the sliding contact bearing can also called as a journal bearing, because that moving element is called as a journal. Okay, so that is what is clearly given over here. So you can see here. So a bearing is a machine element which supports another moving machine element, which is nothing but a journal. So the sliding contact bearing can also be called as a journal bearing. Okay, they have been using this bearing for a centrifugal pump. So following of the data, they have given a load on the journal is 20,000 Newton. So I am going to give us a W, which is given as 20,000 Newton, and they have given the speed N is equal to 900 RPM. They have given N as 900 RPM. Okay, so the type of the oil they have used is a SAE10. So SAE10 oil is which have been used. So viscosity of the thing is given. So viscosity as 55, and they are given other value which is nothing but 0.017 kilogram per meter second, which is nothing but Z value. So Z is equal to 0.017 kilogram per meter second. Okay, then they are given the ambient temperature. For ambient temperature we have to take it as a TA. So TA is given as a 15.5 degree centigrade, and they are given the maximum bearing pressure P, which is nothing but 1.5 Newton per mm square. Okay, they asked us to calculate the mass of the lubricating oil required for artificial cooling. I hope you know that types of cooling. So natural cooling is available. If I want to take an example, low cc vehicles, for example 100 cc, 200 cc, 150 cc vehicles are called as a natural cooling vehicle, whereas ambient air is enough to cool the particular engine. So what in case of a heavy vehicle such as a car, buses, lorries, we need artificial cooling. Either a coolant or a water is been pumped surrounded to the engine in order to cool the engine. Similarly, bearing is a one element which is continuously rotating along with the rotating member. You take example shaft. ஒரு ஷாஃப்ட் எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா அந்த ஷாஃப்ட் என்ன பண்ணணும்னா கண்டினியூஸாக ரொட்டேட் ஆகிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும். ஸோ அதை நான் தவிர்க்கிறதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும், ஐ ஹேவ் டு லூப்ரிகேட் இட். ஓகே, ஸோ ரைஸ் ஆஃப் டெம்பரேச்சர் யூ கேன் ஹேவ் இட் அஸ் அ del T. So del T is equal to, they have given us a 10 degree centigrade, and heat dissipation, so which is nothing but a CD. CD is equal to 1232 watt per meter square degree centigrade. Okay, let me go to the design procedure which is already given by one of my colleague, Mr. Venkatesh. So you can see here the design of journal bearing. The diameter of the journal bearing, you can write it over here. If the D is not given, either I can assume it or I can take it from here. T is equal to P, so that I need a power. If I doesn't know the power, I can assume it P into 60 divided by 2 pi m. So T is equal to pi by 60 into tau into d cube. This value you can take it from page number 7. You can take this particular formula from page number 7.30. Okay, so P is equal to 2 pi nt 60. Otherwise you can go and take what is the particular value, and then the length of the journal, you can go to page number 7.31 and we can take the L by D ratio. So example, let us go here. For example 7.31, the thing given is a centrifugal pump. So you go to the column, this is L by D. இதான் நமக்கு தேவையான L by D. இங்க என்ன கொடுத்திருக்காங்கன்னு பாருங்க, centrifugal pump. Centrifugal pump க்கு L by D ratio எவ்வளவு இருக்கலாம், 1 to 2 இருக்கலாம். நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம், we can take L by D ratio is equal to 1.5 ன்னு எடுத்துக்கலாம். L by D ratio is equal to 1.5. Then they asked us to calculate the pressure developed. The pressure developed நமக்கு என்ன தெரியும்னா, I know the P value, I know the W value. I doesn't know the L and D value individually, but I know from data book L by D value தெரியும். இந்த இடத்துல தான் நம்ம டயாமீட்டரோட வேல்யூவை நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும், சூஸ் பண்ணணும். ஓகே, ஸோ இட் இஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் லூப்ரிகேஷன் ஆயில் வந்து நம்மளுக்கு ஆல்ரெடி கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. கொடுக்காத பட்சத்தில் நான் என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, ஐ மே கோ டு பேஜ் நம்பர் 7.31. I may go to page number 7.31. You can see here. So Zn by P value is given here. For this Zn P value, we can go what is the lubricant we have to choose. You can see here what is the SAE number. See, engine oil, machine oils, for correspondingly we can choose the engine oil level. So very importantly, then we have to calculate what is the heat generated and what is heat dissipated. So heat generated, which is obviously not, because of rotating, many amount of heat will be generated. The formula is mu into W into V, which is available in page number 7.34. You can go to page number 7.34. You can identify the formula. You can see here, heat generated Hg is equal to mu into W into V. W is nothing but load, mu is nothing but you are having friction, V is nothing but velocity. The next thing is heat dissipated, Hd. So heat dissipated formula is which is equal to H into A into sigma T. So it can be again, so this value can be written from heat dissipation coefficient, which is nothing but Hg minus Hd. I repeat again, Hg minus Hd. Okay, so with which I can find out. So again the formula is available. You can go to the same page number. You can see here, heat dissipation is equal to temperature difference plus 18 the whole square into L into D divided by K. Otherwise the same thing can be written as CD. CD is nothing but a specific heat dissipation, which we have been already seen, which is nothing but heat dissipation coefficient. So the same formula can be written as CD into L into D into TB minus TA. So TB minus TA we have to find it out. Okay, So these are the formulas required for our problem. Finally, we need to find out the mass of the lubricant oil. The formula is nothing but m into specific heat of oil into temperature rise. I repeat again. So here we can have the different symbol as HT. So the specific weight of the oil can be assumed as 1.84 to 2.04 if it is not given. The temperature rise may be considered as 10 degrees centigrade if it is not given, but the temperature rise for our problem is clearly given. So with which these data I try to solve this particular problem. First I am going to find out what is the L by D ratio. So I am going to data book page number 7.31. I am going to page number 7.31 for centrifugal pump. So for centrifugal pump I am taking L by D ratio is equal to 1.5. Which is what I have been already told. You can see here, you go to your data book, page number 7.31. You can go here, you can see this is a centrifugal pump. The L by D ratio is 1.2 to 2. I am taking here as a 1.5 as the D ratio, and I am going to assume here D is equal to 100 mm. So I am going to assume the D is equal to 100 mm. So I can write L is equal to 1.5 into 100, where L is equal to 150 mm. So L is equal to 150 mm. Okay, now I find out the L. So now what is the required thing is I need to find out the heat generated. In order to find out the mass, I need heat generated and heat dissipated. You go to your data book again from data book page number 7.34. From page number 7.34, I am taking this particular formula. Heat dissipated is equal to mu into W into V. Similarly, from the same page number, I can write mu is equal to 33.25 divided by 10 to the power 8 into Zn divided by P into D by C plus K. So this is the formula. If you want to look it, we can go back 7.34. So see here, you can have the formula for mu value. Okay. So mu is equal to 33.25 divided by 10 to the power Zn by P in D by D plus C plus K. Okay. So this is what I am having over here. Okay. So now I need to find out the value. So to find out, I have to substitute and find out each and every value. So before which I want to check whether the pressure value is up to my mark or not. Okay. For which I am going to check here. So I know the formula P is equal to W into L into D. So I know the load value. I know the load is nothing but 20 into 10 to the power 3, which is nothing but 20,000 Newton divided by 150 into 100. So if I calculate, the value would be around 1.33 Newton per mm square. Okay, you can go and look back the given data. The given data is 1.5 Newton per mm square, which is less than that of 1.5 Newton per mm square. Hence the design is safe. Okay, so let us try to find out D in the opposite manner. Let us try to find out the D in the opposite manner. So I know the value of one pressure. So I am having as D. So D is equal to 20 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 150 into 1.5. If I try to identify, the D value would be around 95 mm. I repeat again, the D value would be around 95 mm. You don't worry about the L. Okay, so if I want to find out the L is equal to, I can find out 1.5 into 95. So where I can write L is equal to approximately 143 mm. Okay, so now I have been recalculated the value of D and L. Okay, so now let me go to the Mechanism formula. In this Mechanism formula, mu is equal to 33.25 divided by 10 to the power 8 Zn divided by P D by C plus K. So I need this K value. To find out this K value, let us go back to the data book. You can see here, this is my L by D ratio, this is my K value. See, L by D is for me 1.5. If I go directly 1.5, I can find out, see, it is approximately here. I can write from data book page number 7.134, from 7.134 from graph for L by D is equal to 1.5. I can write K is equal to 0.002, which is nothing but a constant. which is nothing but a constant. I'll show you again how. See here. So if I take here, I can write 0.0025. It is not exactly in this horizontal line. அது கொஞ்சம் கீழே தள்ளி தான் இருக்கிறனால நான் என்ன எடுக்கிறேன், k ஓட வேல்யூவை 0.002 எடுக்கிறேன். அடுத்து எனக்கு என்ன தேவை அப்படின்னா, I need to find out what is c. So cங்கிறது என்ன அப்படிங்கிறத பார்க்கலாம். Let us go to page number 7.32. So which is nothing but a clearance. Which is nothing but a clearance. Okay, for example, if it is required for a centrifugal if it is required for a centrifugal pump, if it is required for a centrifugal pump, so I can have this c value. I can have this c value. You can see here, it is between 113 to 163 micron. I repeat again, it is between 113 micron to 163. See here, up to the shaft diameter. So the shaft diameter is more than 90 mm. See here, the shaft diameter is 12, 25, 50, 90, 140. The shaft diameter for us is 95 mm. So I have to consider only this 140. The 140 க்கு நேரா கீழ வரேன். இங்க வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா I am taking precision spindle. So the C value would be around 113 to 163 micron. Okay. So here I am going to assume. So from data book page number 7.132 for D up to 140, diameter up to 140 and precision I am taking C is equal to 113 micron எடுத்துக்கலாம் நம்ம. 113 micron which is nothing but 0.113 mm. So C value வந்து நம்ம எடுத்தாச்சு. நமக்கு என்னென்ன தேவைன்னு பாருங்க. எனக்கு k ஓட வேல்யூ தேவை, d ஓட வேல்யூ தேவை, c ஓட வேல்யூ தேவை. இந்த எல்லா வேல்யூ இருந்துச்சுன்னா என்ன கால்குலேட் பண்ணலாம்? I can calculate the mu value. So mu is equal to, இப்போ நான் எழுதுறேன், mu is equal to, so 33.25, so divided by 10 to the power 8 into z ஓட வேல்யூ எனக்கு ப்ராப்ளத்தில் கொடுத்துருந்தாங்க 0.017, என்னோட வேல்யூ எனக்கு ப்ராப்ளத்தில் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க 900, divided by p ஓட வேல்யூ 1.5 Newton per mm square. ஓகே, ஸோ அதுக்கடுத்து வந்து d ஓட வேல்யூ 95, c ஓட வேல்யூ வந்து 0.113, ஸோ அண்ட் k ஓட வேல்யூ வந்து 0.02. ஸோ இது எல்லா வேல்யூ நான் சப்ஸ்டியூட் பண்ணேன்னா, if I substitute all the value, I would get the mu value as 4.85 into 10 to the power minus 3. So the mu value is 4.85 into 10 to, so which is nothing but a coefficient of friction between the rotating body. Okay, so to find out hg, எனக்கு என்ன கிடைச்சிருச்சுன்னா, now I know mu value, I already know w value, I need to find out v value. So obviously உங்களுக்கு v க்கு ஃபார்முலா தெரியும். V is equal to, so pi dn divided by 60, because in what velocity it is rotating. அப்ப pi into, so 95 into 900 divided by 60. அப்ப v ஓட வேல்யூ எனக்கு என்ன வந்துரும் அப்படினு பாத்தீங்கன்னா 4.48 meter per second. If I calculate, I can find out 4.48 meter per second. So now I can calculate the heat generated. The formula for heat generated is nothing but, so mu into w into v. If I substitute all the value, so 4.85 into 10 to the power minus 3, so into 10 to the power 20,000 into 4.48, which is nothing but the v value. If I calculate, I can find out the heat generated, which is nothing but, if I substitute all the value and if I calculate, the heat generated would be 434.56 joules per second. I repeat again, the heat generated is equal to 434.56 joules per second. Okay, so now I need to find out the heat generated. So the heat generated formula, we can take it from page number 7.134, or otherwise we can write it as heat generated is equal to CD into L into D into TB minus TA. Okay, this value is already given in our problem. Let us go and look into it. So the CD, heat dissipation coefficient, is nothing but 1232 watt per meter square per degree centigrade. அது என்ன கொடுத்துருக்காங்க? I know the L value, I know the D value. If I can find out TB minus TA, so what is TB minus TA? So TB minus TA can be written as 1/2 into T naught minus TA. So these values are given in our problem. You can see here TA is 15 degrees centigrade, and other value they have given us absolute viscosity at 15 oil temperature. The oil temperature as 55 degrees centigrade. That is what given. The oil temperature minus atmospheric temperature, which is nothing but, so half into 55. So 55 minus 15.5, where I can write TB minus TA is equal to 19.75. I can write it as 19.75. Okay, let us here solve, try to substitute all the values in meter, because since all the values for me given in meter, let me substitute all the values here. So here previously the CD value is 1232, and if I want to substitute length value 1.143 into 0.095 into 10. If I calculate, I can find out the heat dissipation. The heat dissipation value is nothing but 330.5 joules per second, or I can 330.5 joules per second, or it can be written as watt. So now I have found out heat dissipated as well as heat generated. You can see here the heat generated is higher than that of the heat dissipated, with which we come to a conclusion that artificial cooling is required. To find out how much to be found, I can write here as, so HT, okay, so heat, the temperature which is to be cooled, I can write as heat generated minus heat dissipated. So to find out that, I can write 434.56 minus 330.5. Then I have find out what is the HT value. So HT is equal to 104.06 watt. Okay, and similarly I can write this HT value as I can write as a formula m into, which is nothing but mass of the oil and the specific gravity of the oil into temperature difference. The temperature difference formula is value is given in the problem. HT value நம்ம இங்க ஏற்கனவே கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டோம் 104.06. If the specific gravity of the oil value is not given, you can consider, I have given already, we can consider in between 1.84 kilojoule per kilogram degree centigrade or 2. So with that range you can take any value. So here I am going to consider this S as, I am going to consider this S as 1850 joule per Kelvin per degree centigrade. 1850 joule per Kelvin per degree centigrade. I doesn't know what is the mass. I need to find out the mass of the oil. So now m is equal to 104.06 divided by 1850 into 10. 1850 into 10. So mass of the oil required, if I substitute all the value and if I calculate, the mass of the oil required is 5.62 into 10 to the power minus 3 kilogram per second. So per second I required 5.62 into 10 to the minus 3 kilogram of oil for cooling the bearing purpose. Okay.